Hey everybody, it's Julie. I hope the beginning of your week is going well. Today I kind of wanted to take you through my journey in and out of veganism. And just to preface it all by saying this is not at all saying that a vegan diet is a bad one. Some people can do it really, really well and for the right reasons, and other people have a harder time with it. So I just wanted to share with you my story and just kind of how I made peace with having no labels and things like that. So, I guess I have to back it up and tell you how my diet was never a normal diet. When I did not like fruits or vegetables till I was in college, and I just lived off of sweets and starch and just like chicken nuggets and things like that, mac and cheese. So I really never had a well balanced, healthy diet at all. So in college, when I started wanting to get healthier and things like that, that's really when it began for me. And those were kind of the same years that some of my eating disorder thoughts were creeping in. But so, kind of I ended up in the hospital with anemia in 2011, and it kind of jump started this weight loss. And when you lose a bunch of weight at one time, it can kind of get you on this high, and you really want to keep going. So, after that, I really started to have a disordered relationship with food, and I found myself restricting in a lot of ways. I wasn't like crazy restricting, but I wasn't wanting to eat like tons of bread, or I was only eating like half of a sandwich, and I just really lost all connection with my natural hunger cues and just started being really scared of some foods. And then so that same spring, one of my friends introduced me to the documentary Forks Over Knives. And Forks Over Knives is all about how a whole foods plant-based diet can really help prevent chronic disease, cancer, heart disease, things like that. And so I was super intrigued by this film and ended up just completely shifting and going vegan. And it was kind of good for me. It got me back in a healthier place for a while because I could eat carbs. I could eat all the carbs I wanted. And carbs is what I was craving, probably because I was restricting them. And so it went well for a little while, and that summer was going well. I wasn't really crazy restricting or anything. But gradually, I started to become scared of more and more foods, like deathly afraid of too many fats, because Forks Over Knives advocates a low-fat diet as well. And so I got scared of having too much fat, which is so important on a vegan diet. And again, started to become afraid of carbs and things like that. So gradually, I just ended up cutting out way too much, way too many of the things that are so important on a vegan diet. And I just ended up in the bad state I was, just completely malnourished. And I was eating all the times, but I wasn't eating the right things. And so I ended up in a really bad place. And so it was when I started to recover, people started breaching the idea with me, broaching the idea, that I should probably try to eat some meat again, eat some fish, things like that. And it was really, really hard for me. I struggled with it for probably like a good month or so. Like, still didn't want to touch it. I was so attached to my vegan identity because that's what society has made diets an identity. Like the vegan and the paleo community, their communities, their identity, they make you special. They make you different. And I wanted to be special and I wanted to be different. So it was really, really hard for me to let that go. And it was also really hard for me to let go of the ideas I had about how healthy a vegan diet was. And the fact is that a vegan diet is really healthy for a lot of people. But for me, it wasn't, especially with the gut issues that I was already starting to develop. A high carbohydrate, high sugar diet was the worst thing for me. And so I had to start really figuring out the puzzle that was going in my head. I had to decide which parts of me going vegan, were me, the true me, the me that wanted to be healthy and thriving, and which part of it was the disordered me. And they were both in there and they were intertwined, and it took me a long time to sort that out and really dive deep into why I was holding on to those beliefs. And yeah, it took some time, but and just like I was tormented by it for a really long time. But then it came down to the fact that I could feel my body was, it needed the easily accessible nutrients that are in protein, and it needed more of that. And so I I just took the leap, started with salmon, then went on to eggs, started having reactions to eggs, so I'm now off of eggs. But I went through it and I realized that I'm doing vegan in the name of health, and my health is not okay right now. I need to do something else in the name of health. And so I kind of was really attached to the vegetarian the vegetarian label for a while, and really was comfortable with that for a while. And then just going through my gut healing, I realized that I just need to do what it takes to make me healthy. And I learned a lot from the vegan diet, and I eat very much the same in a lot of ways, but I've tailored it to what's right for me. And I think the thing that I've learned that is the most important is that different diets are right for different people at different times in their life. The same diet might not be right for you for the whole entire time of your life, and that's okay, and you can change. And I think we really need to get away from this idea that eating well, eating clean, eating vegan, eating paleo makes you a better person. Food is not a moral, it shouldn't be a moral issue. Of course, there's the animal rights side of it and things like that, and I do very much respect that. But when it comes to your goodness as a human being, what you eat should not define you. So yes, you can consider the way I eat now a particular diet, but I don't label myself that way. And yes, right now, because of my gut issues, I'm pretty restricted on what I can eat, but that's not who I am. Food is just food. It nourishes me, it makes me healthy, it heals me. It is not who I am. And that is just kind of my journey in and out of veganism. It was a very restricted mindset, I am worthier than thou mindset, and it got me in an unhealthy place. And I was surprised that when I first went into treatment, they told me that going vegan is a huge, like has a huge correlation to ending up with an eating disorder. Because whether you know it or not, a lot of the times people are trying to control their body in some way by restricting certain food groups. And I have seen firsthand that I've eaten all the food groups and I was losing weight. Like it doesn't work like that. And we need a variety of nutrients, and we need different things at different points in our lives. So it's scary to let go of an ideal, to let go of an identity, but it's so freeing when you're not just like, well, I'm vegan. You can just go with the flow and just have fun and enjoy life and enjoy the pleasurable food that's out there. But when it comes down to it, it's just food. So yeah, that's kind of a rant, but I hope you enjoy. And if you connect with this or anything, let me know. If you have any questions, let me know. And I can't wait to hear from you. Okay, bye-bye.